Hi, folks. I just literally want to know that anyone claiming to be medium these days are 10 a freaking penny. I mean, I've been a medium all of my life. My earliest recollection is around the age of 9.5, 10 years old. That's my very first recollection. Prior to that, I was just very aware of, while I could not actually see physical bodily spirit, I used to just get the sense of a man and a woman down on the middle floor in my grandmom's old house. Now I presume them to be my great grandmother and my grandfather, mother and son. I could approximately tell that there was a taller, older gentleman and a shorter, older lady. And then occasionally I would also get my great grandfather's sort of spirit. I felt that he was more a bustle man, so he would be a little bit wider, that kind of way. But as I said, it wasn't something I was seeing in the bodily sense. Oh, excuse me, and I've always had a fear of death and dying. That's one thing about me as a psychic medium that I kind of find strange. I don't like the dark very much, unless I'm really, really having a bad migraine. Other than that, all I want is dark and quiet. And I suppose, as I say, very much just being aware of spirit. My first real heavy, full on came when I was about 9.5, 10. I just heard my name called 3 times. Sounded like there was a man just inside of my bedroom door, and I can tell you here now, yes, I freaked. I panicked because I was on my own in the house, and it was not a tape recorder or anything else, and there was nobody else present in the house. And I can tell you here and now that it absolutely gave me the craps. But it's from, I suppose, really the last 10, 12 years, things have come a lot hotter and heavier with me as a psychic medium. I've had a lot of experiences in my mum's house, known as the farmhouse, or as I called it, Pine Lodge. And the way I see it is, I didn't ask for this. I never set out that as a child that I was going to be a medium. I guess I was always the odd one out in school, but then again, I had a swotty attitude. I wasn't going to be Patty last. And so I wasn't the type that caused disruption in class. I actually enjoyed school, to be quite honest with you. I enjoyed learning. And I'm not trying to say I was, goody goody two shoes, but I just enjoyed learning, and I still do to this very day. And in psychic mediumship, this life is all about learning. We are here on a journey here in life to learn. And for me, that's why I'm coming out now. I'm saying that there are too many people jumping on the psychic medium bandwagon. And I'm afraid I don't want to criticize them, but because I'd be afraid of losing my own gift for criticizing. But I want to call out fake mediums, so-called mediums, because you're giving us a bad name and you're also very much upsetting spirit. I choose to work with this gift because the way I see it is freely given, so freely received, so freely given. So where possible, on phone readings or online readings, they're free. The only readings I really charge for would be sit-down readings. So somebody specifying that they actually want to come, sit and have a reading, and no, I don't do cold readings. That's one thing I'm going to tell you. I don't look at somebody and start judging them. How this works for me is very much through voice. Now, that might sound strange to some people or even false. Some mediums would call that false. For me, it is very much about really and truly the vibration of voice. I don't ask people for any details. I don't ask them for their name, their date of birth, or anything else. And I most certainly do not look for social media information to give me any sort of hints. As I said, I very much go by vibration, and I let spirit guide come through to me and tell me about this person. And I do specify to the person that I am reading, please do not give me information prior to your reading or tell me who it is you're looking to connect with. Let me do the work through spirit. And I don't do cold reading and look at their face and go from there. That's not how this works for me. Just me personally. As I said, I like to build a bond with people, and I'm also very empathetic or empathic, if you want to call it that. So being empathic is a huge part of this job. And it's not only a job for me, it's a vocation. And if Spirit chooses to step forward and help me to connect with people's loved deceased ones, then I'm happy to do so, providing that I'm not bringing in negative, evil entities, spirit, or powers. That's not what my gift is about, never will be what my gift is about. For me, this gift is very much about bringing two sides a little bit closer together, as the late Colin Fry would say. But please, folks, don't leave it too late. Don't leave it so that people like me and people who are real mediums, so that we don't have to be the ones to try and connect you with your loved ones. Please try and tell the people that you love here on this earth what they mean to you and just how much they mean to you. Don't let yourself go to the point of having or harboring grudges if you can at all help it. Try and rectify relationships while you're still alive on this earth, because this life is a short life and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. And very much I believe in sort of like a karma, or what you give out you get back. So what goes around, it comes around. I'm not pretending I'm innocent or perfect. I'm not. I'm far from it. But I am not here to con people out of money. That's not my goal. Never will be, never has been. That just does not float my boat in one way or another. As it just does not do personally anything for me. Being a medium for me is very much, as I said, it is a vocation, but it's also a job. And you can choose to do this 24/7 and try and make a success of it. But my advice to you is to go and do this part-time in the way that I do it. And what I do is very much part-time. And I don't always choose when readings come forth. Like in the last day, in the last couple of days, I was talking to somebody, a lady, and I was able to bring forward a member of her family. Now, this lady herself has actually done stuff in this line, so she was open and receptive. And I feel that she's a decent person, and she's good at what she does, and she's very much empathic. And I feel that's really important in the role of mediumship. Unless you can create a bond with somebody, there's no point in going into this, because this can absolutely overwhelm you. I mean, emotionally through my teenage years, that's when this really, for me, started playing up. And what I mean by playing up is I would be taken to people's wakes. There was a lady that used to work where I lived, and anyway, she was a staff member in the house where I lived because I was in residential care, not through any custodial means or anything like that. So just before anyone jumps to any assumptions, I just want to clear that up. And this lady used to bring us to wakes occasionally. Now, I never felt very comfortable with it, but I can tell you, between seeing people that I actually knew laid out and people that I did not know in any way, shape, or form, or their families, I could tell you 8 times out of 10 whether that person had an unprovided for or unprepared for death, or a death that was basically not very welcome, that they were not just ready to pass over. So there was still very much a connection to the earth. And I could just tell by a raised chest sort of thing, that might sound stupid, that the person hadn't fully passed, as in that death was just unprovided for, unprepared for, just really, I don't feel like the deaths that I saw, as I said, I don't feel that their time on Earth was quite through, if that makes sense. So they have unfinished connection to Earth. Now, as I say, I did not know these souls. I don't believe that I knew them in life either. Whereas seeing another person that I did know quite well, and seeing him laid out where he had time to prepare and be at home with his family, he was one of the most peaceful souls that I saw as a waked corpse. And in the way that he was laid out, very much, again, it was the whole thing of, as I said, that he was very prepared for his death and that his passing was completely peaceful. Even with my own grandmom, I have to say, I did not get any sense of closure or that she was done with this earth. So I do believe her death was simply speeded up. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about unprepared for, unprovided for death. So somebody's death being hastened through morphine or other such medications. Now, as having been a nurse, there's a lot of over medication going on in this world. And I feel it's high time we say, stop, enough is enough. And this is why I'm talking about unprepared death, and unprovided for death. And this is one thing as a psychic medium, that this is how I know personally that I have this gift. In that, I suppose, I feel that these spirits are telling me, or that there's almost a telepathic communication, like not even being able to mind read me or connect to my mind, but just even the way that they're laid out, I feel like the spirit is calling out to me in a personalized way, not using my name, but by just looking at them, that I can tell. Now, that might sound stupid to you, but that's personally just how I see it. Um, I didn't ask for the gift. It certainly came to me in very much an unexpected way. And I think that that's also important as a psychic medium. It's not about just buying cards and then suddenly, woohoo, you're a medium, or go to Findlay College in the UK or any of the other mediumship colleges. That's not for me. That's not what I believe makes a medium. You will either have this and you just need to develop. I don't believe that you can just suddenly develop this over a period of 3, 4, 5 years. That I do not believe comes from within, and that might sound horrible or just callous and cold, and I don't mean it to sound like that. But I just want to touch on the fact that I believe you either have this or you don't have it. I mean, I don't have the gift of art or knitting, crochet, embroidery, and stuff. I don't have the gift of drawing or painting. I don't have that talent. I can knit and crochet just a little bit, but nothing that you would call remarkable or even anyway presentable, to be quite honest. My sewing is even worse because I'm as blind as a bat, in that I cannot keep a straight line. So I know that might sound absolutely pathetic, and there are some small tips like drawing a line with chalk or whatever. But as I say, they're just not my strongholds. So singing a little bit of poetry occasionally, and indeed mediumship, that seems music, that seems to be my gift, and a little bit of singing. So as I say, being a psychic medium, and what I mean by psychic is in dreams I can get premonitions, if that makes sense. And sometimes that can be my own anxiety. Not that I suffer from generalized anxiety, but if I've had a particularly stressful day, then negative images will come in my head, sort of thing, just before I sleep. But over the years, what has happened, or has been happening, is where a scenario will kind of happen in a dream, And within either days, weeks, months, or a year, or a bit more than a year, the scenario that played out in my dream, not always involving me, by the way, actually happens. Which is, again, another form of divination, if you want to call it that. And a lot of my work as a medium also revolves around, I suppose, bringing your loved ones a little bit closer to you and just reassuring you of their love and of their presence with you. And it should not take me as a medium to say that to you. Your loved ones still love you. Just because they've passed from a physical realm to a spiritual realm does not mean that they are not with you or that they don't love you. They do. And that love does not change or go away when they pass the spirit. And all they want for you is for you to be okay, for you to be at peace, for you to be okay health-wise, for you to be okay financially. And while they may not always have had money to give you or to leave you in a will, you are very much wanted. You are very much loved. And they are looking out for you and they do pay you little visits. And you don't even have to come to somebody like me who's a psychic medium. All you do is talk to your loved one as if they're still physically present with you. And I'm assuring you that they are there listening. Whether you're in the car, washing dishes, sweeping a floor, whatever it is that you're doing, just call them. They'll be there. Especially if you're feeling low or in any way kind of doubtful or just not having a top day, if that makes sense. Just call on your loved one and they will be there with you. As I said, I'm not here to try and promote myself or to promote what genuine psychic mediumship is. I just simply wanted to touch on where this gift has come in for me and the things I experience on a day-to-day level. And I still have a journey to go with psychic mediumship in my development. And I don't pretend to be an expert or to have all the answers. Mediumship is also very much about guiding people for the best. Not from self-interest, not from anything else that I can get from it, but making sure that I give somebody a little bit of advice or guidance or counsel. Not counseling, but counsel, aka advice. For the best for them to better themselves or that they go away with the closure that they seek. And that it's not fake advice, it's not telling them what to do, but rather guiding somebody or trying to answer maybe a query or a question that they might have. And that's what this journey is about for me. So folks, from yet another psychic medium, thank you very much for having watched this video and I hope you enjoy.